through oral histories, we work with 11 different tribes in the park.
Something is definitely going on in the Grand Canyon that the powers that be don't want the people to be aware of. This is the alarm raised by guests on Joe Rogan's show, suggesting a deliberate cover-up attempt of shocking discoveries in the Grand Canyon. What has been discovered in this wild place, and why is there a mad rush to keep it out of the news? Stay with us as we bring you how they tried to shut down the Grand Canyon after a drone captured what no one was supposed to see.
Lost civilization in Grand Canyon was, wait, Egyptian?
Yeah, the Smithsonian published some stuff in 1909,
wow.
I guess, that where all this came from. There was an article that got written, and I don't know how much of it they proved or was proven or was just newspaper. It's like bait back in the day.
Look at this, even more amazing. The artifacts didn't match up to anything on the known record. Rather than appearing to be of Native American origin, as one might expect, the object had distinct Egyptian or Tibetan designs. Could there have been an entire civilization of Egyptians living here? If so, how did they get here?
The Grand Canyon is one of the greatest marvels of the natural world, as few other places evoke more respect for nature. Sitting deep in the heart of Arizona, this massive natural feature, with its colorful landscape and distinct ecosystems, draws in millions of visitors every year. The Deep Gorge spans a huge 277 miles in length and is up to 18 miles wide in some places. In other places, it is up to a mile deep. Sunrises and sunsets are often taken for granted, but not in this corner of the world. Both times are magical, with the shadows and light creating a mesmerizing palette of red, orange, and purple hues. The Grand Canyon is cut through by the Colorado River, whose water has carved and shaped the landscape for millions of years. Visitors to the canyon, certain to be left breathless by the vista, may also be enthralled by the treasure trove of historical and cultural information buried in this place. The magnificent site has a long history that stretches back thousands of years, evidence of which can be found in the petroglyphs, artifacts, and dwelling ruins found there. They tell the story of indigenous people who lived in harmony with their rugged environment and how it influenced their way of life, including their religious practices. The Grand Canyon is way older than you can imagine. The oldest rocks discovered at the base of the canyon, called the Vishnu Basement Rocks, came about more than 1.7 billion years ago, thanks to volcanic activities. In recognition of the uncommon beauty of the Grand Canyon, President Theodore Roosevelt fought hard to grant it a protected status. The president became an ardent admirer following a visit in 1903, extolling it as a site every American should see at least once in their lifetime. Roosevelt's support eventually led to the Grand Canyon being designated a federal game reserve 3 years after his visit. In 1919, the Grand Canyon was officially recognized as one of the first national parks in the U.S. The Grand Canyon, however, is steep in mystery, which has kept scholars, researchers, and enthusiasts busy as they try to uncover the truth. Perhaps the most intriguing and tantalizing is the claim that ancient Egyptian artifacts and a complete underground city are hidden away within the depths of the canyon. It all started in 1909. In the spring of that year, two explorers, G.E. Kincaid and S.A. Jordan, made a shocking discovery deep inside the Grand Canyon that seemed to belong to the realm of fantasy than reality. The singular discovery has set in motion a series of events and cover-ups that reverberate till today. Kincaid was a seasoned explorer, so he knew his onions. He grew up in the wilds of Idaho, where he developed his passion for exploring the unknown. He would become a seasoned hunter, explorer, and archaeologist, all of which would take him to more untamed places. Kincaid explored the Wild West for more than 3 decades under the tutorship of Jordan, where he sought to surface the secrets buried deep within the earth. Needless to say, Jordan was bringing a wealth of archaeological experience to the expedition, and even more hunger to find what was hidden. What he reported to have found within the Grand Canyon would need a word more powerful than shocking to adequately describe it. Imagine stumbling upon a whole city under a canyon, and not just that. Imagine their bafflement as they found artifacts dating back to ancient Egypt there too. Naturally, the questions were, who built this hidden city? How did it manage to remain hidden for so long, forgotten by time? And how did artifacts from faraway Egypt end up in this location? According to those explorers, they found the entrance to the secret city above the Colorado River. It took a very challenging climb to even get to the entrance. Some other explorers would have given up, but not this pair. Even gazing at the entranceway, this enterprising pair knew their perseverance was going to be amply rewarded. The entrance bore the marks of painstaking craftsmanship that they found could have existed so long ago. Beyond the entrance was a network of passages that stretched as far as their eyes could see, which was not very far due to the foreboding darkness that confronted them. Venturing deeper into this dark place underneath the earth, the passages narrowed, and the air got ominously colder. However, they would lead Kincaid and Jordan to secret rooms overflowing with artifacts that the historians of North America could not even understand. They found, lying about, covered with millennia worth of dust, tools, and weapons that bore evidence of being meticulously crafted. They tripped on other copper implements that proved the people who left them behind had access to sophisticated technology, way more sophisticated than one would imagine the people were capable of. However, Kincaid and Jordan were in for even more shock. They were astounded to find giant mummies there, over 1,600 meters underground. As they reported later, this was totally unexpected. The sizes of these mummies were amazing. Kincaid described them as colossus. He estimated they must have stood at over 8 feet tall. The mummies were preserved in the underground chambers whose level of dryness astounded Kincaid. They were clothed with dark linen garments sparkling with precious metal dust. Exploring the city further revealed the builders' engineering prowess. Kincaid and his companion marveled at the level of precision achieved by the builders as they carved rooms and halls into the rock. They also find murals decorating the walls. These art pieces depicted scenes of everyday life in ancient times, including their religious ceremonies. Another surprise was the complexity of the city's layout. Kincaid and Jordan found grand plazas and waterways that were still in good condition, bringing water from unknown springs into the city. The biggest link to ancient Egypt was the series of hieroglyphs covering the walls and other artifacts throughout the underground city. The symbols that tripped many scholars bore an undeniable resemblance to ancient Egypt, suggesting that somehow, in a global cultural exchange that predated anything known to modern-day scholars and researchers, the influence of Egypt or Tibet had spread to the Grand Canyon. It was immediately clear that the artifacts found by Kincaid and Jordan bore no similarity or resemblance to the cultures of the Native American tribes associated with the region. The pottery and sculptures showed totally unfamiliar animals and gods. In addition to these were other foreign-looking objects made of gold or silver, alongside crystal orbs that seemed to have bright lights coming from within them. Kincaid and Jordan's expedition would become news, with details of their intriguing find capturing the public's imagination. The tantalizing thought of an ancient city buried deep under the Grand Canyon was just too juicy to be resisted, sparking a frenzy of speculations that in some cases exaggerated. However, Kincaid and Jordan arranged for the artifacts and mummies